Hello gamers, Powered Heal here, coming at you with a bit of a new segment where we're going to try. So this is going to be a hardcore clip segment, and we're going to do like either close calls or deaths. So we're going to basically looking at clips from the healer perspective that are either close calls or deaths, and it's going to be mostly in probably dungeons and raids, right? And we're just going to be looking at it to see, if anything can be done differently, what can we learn from this. And I thought this would be a good idea because I know we have some people on this channel that really like hardcore, and I've been asked a couple times if I'm going to make hardcore content, and I'm probably not going to make like full-on hardcore guides or a ton of content in the very near future, only because I'm trying to get stuff set up still on Night Slayer for my main characters. Got some PvP stuff I want to set up and still working a bit on the two priests, getting them gear and stuff like that. So probably won't be making any hardcore content myself in the very near future, but I thought this would be kind of like a good, almost like a compromise, right? Where we can talk a little bit about hardcore and kind of like, it's the most important part of hardcore, right? The staying alive or preventing death part by reacting to these, near deaths or death clips. And I think this will be fun, both for the people that are interested in hardcore on the channel, and even for the people that aren't playing hardcore and are just playing on the normal servers. I think it's always fun to like watch stuff like this, right, and see what could have been done differently, what we can learn from it. And I think a lot of the stuff that if you hear me kind of give advice in a video like this, then that's also applicable to you on softcore, right? So it's not like we are exclusively catering to one camp or the other here. These kind of they help both parties, right? And yeah, I basically got the idea because my friend and I used to watch these like compilations that they used to make back when they did the old hardcore, like all the time, and it was really fun and really kind of like engaging, right? So yeah, I figured it'd be perfect type of content for now until I make some hardcore stuff a little bit later. So yeah, we're just going to go through this, play the clip at first. I'll give you a little bit of context, and I'll play the clip, and then I'll look at it, and I'll kind of tell you, like, my thoughts, right? And none of this is going to be, like, trying to point the blame on anybody, right? Because in most of these clips, there's, like, a ton of stuff that everybody could have done differently, especially if you're in, like, a dungeon environment, or a raid environment. In most cases, so there's a bunch of stuff that could have happened differently. So it's not about singling anybody out or anything like that. Just trying to learn and hopefully prevent some more deaths in the future. So let's watch the clip. I'll put it on 1 speed at first. And the context here is this Tyler1's group. He's doing LBRS, and we'll kind of head into this. So it looks like pretty standard so far. Mage is coming into AoE, Nova, Flame Strike, Conical probably, yep, looks like, and now Arcane Explosion, yep, perfect. And now he's got Threat. So, yeah, we'll just let the clip play, and then, so he's got Threat, okay, the Renew coming in, still got Threat, the Shield coming in. Oof, oh my god, the Flash Heal almost got him there, huh? Jeez, that was so close, man. Okay. All right, let's go back a little bit. We'll go back to, I think it was the 29, yeah. Okay. And then we'll put it on 0.5, and we'll kind of like take a look at this, and I'll let you know how, like, what's going through my head here. So everything's starting off completely normal. Like I said, Mage is coming in to do AoE. Hunter and the Rogue are engaging. Everything's completely normal so far. Tyler gets MS'd. Looks like our healer shields him, which is good. Deals with the MS, puts a Renew on him, perfect. Dispels the Hunter. Hunter's taking a bit of chip damage, so he gets a Renew. And now the Mage gets aggro. And so the Mage gets aggro, and it looks like she's noticing right away. Yep, and we get the Renew. Okay, so pretty good reaction there. But the only thing I don't like is the spell choice. And I'll explain why right now. So how I think about mages and casters in general and putting Renew on them is I generally almost never do in these types of dungeon environments or raid environments, to be honest. And the reason for that is they tend to be so squishy And when they are taking damage, it's usually because they're intentionally exposing themselves to do more damage, right? So they're they're not just sitting back and blizzarding, they're arcane explosioning like this guy is doing in this situation. And he's trying to basically finish these mobs. He's not like he could run away at any time, but in his mind, I think he thinks he's kind of like safe enough. He doesn't think he's going to get hit that hard. But the issue is the mobs in here, they're only level 56, but these are strong mobs. I don't want to say that they hit as hard as anything else in the game, because that would be technically inaccurate, obviously, even for this level range, but they do hit pretty damn hard even for this level range, and they enrage, right, as you can see here. So these absolutely destroy any type of caster or cloth user, and that's basically like what happened to him here, right? But he's sitting here, he's thinking he's going to be finishing these mobs, and basically the problem with Renew in these situations is that if this mage is going to die, he's going to die in the next, 3 to 5 seconds, right? He's not going to die over 15 seconds, and that's basically what Renew is, right? It's a heal over 15 seconds, so it's basically healing very little for each individual tick. And another problem with Renew is that it doesn't even tick right away, right? So it ticks 3 seconds into the cast. It doesn't tick on the initial application. So you're basically getting, a very small healing amount, and you're getting it 3 seconds into the actual Renew being on the target. But the worst part, really, about Renew is that especially in a situation like this, is it still triggers the GCD. So you'll notice that the Renew is applied, right, and the GCD is going, right. See, we're in GCD prison right now. She's trying to cast something else right now, but you just can't until the GCD finishes, right. So we'll let the GCD finish here. Almost immediately the shield comes out, right. So good reactions, right. Good reactions and good instincts. And the shield comes out, and now the shield is a much better global than Renew, but it still suffers from the same problem as Renew, right? Where when you cast a shield, it's really great, it's instant, but now we're in GCD prison again. So, just still in GCD prison, right? And then, right when we get out of GCD prison, immediately the flash shield comes in. So again, very good reactions here. Just really on point, and the flash shield's coming in, and it's just too late. It's it's so close, man. It was so close. So overall, really good play, I think, from the priest. Good reactions, everything like that. It wasn't like this person was AFK or mentally AFK or anything like that. It's just the Renew global sabotaged everything for her, unfortunately, because if that first global that was a Renew would have been a shield, right, then the next global you can start pumping the flash heals immediately, and that's how you're going to catch up on a target, right? Because the Renew can't catch you up because, again, it's over 15 seconds, right? It's not doing enough damage per instance. So in order to catch up in these situations on somebody where the mobs have a bit of a head start on them damage-wise, you always apply the shield first, right? Because that's the instant thing, right? And the way I like to look at it is some people would say, well, you could flash heal first as well, right? And you could. And in some cases, the order that you do those two things might not make that much of a difference. But the reason why I always prefer the shield first over any other global is because the shield is buying time in that moment, right? So if the mage was going to take, let's say that you don't have enough time to cast the shield and cast a flash, okay? What that means is that the shield is at least giving them a little bit more of a buffer than they would have had, right? And in that time, anything else can happen. Somebody else can get threat. They could use a potion. Maybe their cooldown comes back up, right? Maybe they're able to just walk out of range. There's a bunch of things that could happen in that second. So it's just about buying as much time as you can. That's kind of how you can think of healer, especially in these life or death hardcore situations. Every heal you're casting is just to buy more and more time for your group when things go bad. And that's how you should be organizing things in your brain, is just how can I buy the most time? And if you're really good at buying time for your group, what ends up happening is your group ends up bailing you out as well, right? Because the more time you buy for them, now they can kind of do things to as long as they're not scared running away, I guess, or anything. But they can kind of do things to help out and change the outcome of the situation as well. So, I think overall, like, just it's definitely not really the healer's fault here. Like, obviously, there's just a bunch of things that happened. The mobs were enraged. They both had threat on the mage. They almost died, right? So the mage is probably thinking they're gonna die. So the mage is backpedaling, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, mage backpedaling," but in reality, he thought those mobs were dead. I think he didn't expect to take as much damage as he did, and she didn't really expect him to take as much damage. She didn't expect him to continue to be taking damage. I think she expected him to kind of like walk away. That's probably why the renew came out, because just thinking like, okay, renew, he's gonna walk out, and that'll heal him over time. But I don't even chance it in these situations. You have a ton of mana remaining, right? There's no harm in casting the in the shield, and I think on mages, like I said in particular, you kind of just always cast the shield. That's always your first instinct, and then you go right into flash heal. Situations where I would cast renew on other melee, particularly like warriors or kind of like more plated classes. Rogue would even be fine, because Rogue has stuff like evasion, right? So even if they are getting kind of like crushed by a mob, they're most likely not taking every hit. So the idea here is that if you cast renew on like those types of melee classes, they're going to be around for a little bit. You're probably going to at least get the full value of renew off before they would actually kind of come into jeopardy of dying, especially if it's like another plate class like a warrior. But yeah, if I ever see a mage in trouble start to take damage by heavy mobs like this, I just immediately shield and then just pour those flash heals in. So just really unfortunate clip. The healer did a good job overall trying to save him, just sabotaged by that renew. So just don't renew casters in these situations. Just pump them, especially on hardcore, right? Just throw that shield out liberally and slam those flash heals in, and you're gonna save them 9 times out of 10. But that was it was a short clip, not really a ton to go over there, but I think it was very informational, just about in terms of like in these life or death situations, you really just have to maximize every global, right? And unfortunately, renew just doesn't have enough value in these types of situations on squishy targets. So that's pretty much the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like this type of stuff, and we'll do more of it in the future. Thank you guys, and talk to you next time.